Thank you for the opportunity to be here today. What a lovely setting and such a wonderful experience. I have to say this is the first time I've been on a panel with all women that wasn't a specific Women in Water panel. So kudos for that. I'm really grateful to be here today to share EMWD's recycled water story. Our story takes place at the very end of the journey of the water in the Colorado River. We are, you can see by the map here, we are number 6 on the map in Southern California. Our agency was formed in 1950 and we serve about 1 million people in a service area of about 558 square miles. We're only about 38% built out, which means we have a lot of room to grow. So efficiency is a huge priority for us. We're growing at a rate of about 15%, which is enormous. We connect 3,000 to 4,000 new homes a year, and there's no sight of the slowing of that growth any time in the near future. We're California's 6th largest water utility. We're one of Metropolitan's 26 member agencies, and we provide water, wastewater, and recycled water service to the region that we serve. We're governed by a 5-member publicly elected board, 2 of which are full-time farmers. So our region is still very focused on agriculture. A lot of citrus, and then about 12,000 acres of ag that is irrigated with recycled water. We have more than 600 employees. Our budget is about $465 million, and then our CIP for 5 years is increased to $690 million. We just got an updated figure. Inflation is really taking a toll on our CIP program, so that number, even as of a couple weeks ago, is outdated, so I apologize for that. But I just wanted to provide a little snapshot of who we are and where we are, because I think the context really helps in terms of our story. In terms of our recycled water story, it's really a story of a transition from a liability to an asset. When we first started working with recycled water in 1960, we had a really hard time getting rid of it. We would ask farmers to take water and use it. It wasn't a pressurized system. It wasn't, we didn't have much storage, so they had to take it when we had it available, and the farmers did us a huge favor by using that recycled water. Over time, we began to market the water. We developed a really robust market for it and realized we needed to improve our system. We needed to pressurize the system and provide a quality product that it comes at a consistent pressure when the users need it. The Bureau of Reclamation has been an enormous partner for us as we've developed our recycled water program. Starting in the early 1990s, we received funding to connect all of our recycled water systems throughout our whole service area. We started pressurizing the system in 2003. We received funding through Title 16 and ARA in 2008-2009 timeframe to start building tanks on the hillside and really start to develop an entire system that is parallel to our potable drinking water system. Brandy mentioned the purple pipe system. We have a parallel system under our streets. It's a potable water system with the purple pipe system under all of our streets. On the hillsides, our potable water tanks are adjacent to our recycled water tanks, so it's a whole parallel system. And in 2020, we started embarking on our potable reuse program. So until all of our recycled water use is non-potable for irrigation, ag purposes. This is a brief history of our recycled water program, and there are a couple of, I won't bore you with the details, but there are a couple of points that I wanted to point out. One was in 2005. As I mentioned, we have a really fast-growing region, and we realized that to maximize the use of recycled water and to really offset potable water use for outdoor purposes, we instituted a mandatory recycled water use policy. So if you were going to come into our service area and have any large landscape, we mandated that you use recycled water and put in purple pipes. That wasn't an option. We don't have the luxury of using potable water on landscape anymore. The other pivotal point for us was in 2007 when our board said, we are mandating 100% beneficial reuse of our recycled water. We're not going to let a drop of this water go out to the ocean. We are about 70 miles from the ocean, but of course our rivers go directly there. So they made a mandate to do everything we can to beneficially reuse all of that water. At that moment in our strategic plan, recycled water shifted from the wastewater side of the house to the water supply side of the house. So that was another pivotal moment for us. But we go through strategic planning processes and master planning processes with our recycled water system the same way that we do our potable water system. And this year, we actually completed a cost of service study for our recycled water system in the same way that we would our potable water system. This just provides a snapshot of our wastewater, our sewer collection system. We have 4 main sewer collection systems in our service area. They're indicated by the purple rectangles on the map there. And we have the capacity to treat about 74 million gallons a day, but on average, we're treating about 47 million gallons a day currently. And with the help of the Bureau of Reclamation in the early 90s, even though those locations are geographically dispersed, they're all connected, so we can transport water around the entire service area depending on where the need is. So in terms of a snapshot of our recycled water program, we've invested about $200 million in our capital investment program. We have about 250 miles of recycled water pipeline in our streets. As I mentioned, it's a pressurized system, so we have tanks on the hills, and we're embarking on a $166 million project, which will be our potable reuse project. And again, that will be supported by the Bureau of Reclamation. We've just received a grant for $27.5 million to start the construction of that project. So these projects really wouldn't have been possible without the Bureau of Reclamation's assistance. We have done some really innovative programs. Our groundwater is the highest quality water that we have. It's a very small amount of water, but it's very high quality. So we have instituted a program where we provide our ag farmers who are using groundwater recycled water instead, and in lieu of using the high quality groundwater. So they leave the water in the ground for potable purposes and use purple pipe water instead. We also have a program where we help customers who were developed before our recycled water system retrofit to get off of potable water and onto recycled water for irrigation purposes. A snapshot of the success of the program, you can see in 1990, we imported and relied on imported water for a very large percentage of our supply, about 66%, and through the development of recycled water, even though our population has more than doubled, we are far, far less dependent on water from the Colorado River and Northern California due to this investment in our recycled water system. And we really see this as the wave of the future. Just to wrap up, we continue with our goal to discharge zero water zero water, recycled water. We want to use it all. That's not possible in a year like this when we're getting an enormous amount of rain, but that's very rare that we get this much rain. So we do continue to moving forward with potable reuse and maximizing all opportunities possible. And with that, that concludes my presentation. Thank you so much for the time.